Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Alex Finney. Happy Saturday to you all. I know you love seeing today, right? The weekend, Michael.
The weekend's here,
It's
finally.
here. Yeah, and those temperatures were pretty low when I left my house this morning.
We're taking a dip down this
like
morning,
that.
but it feels the way it's supposed to for this time of year. Good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. Live look outside across the Magic City, sun up at 7:10. Speaking of temperatures, let's bring them in front and center, sliding in at 51. Birmingham, good morning to you. 51 Anniston, 49 T-Town. Average low for this time of year, in case you're going, I wonder what that is. Well, it's 47 degrees, and some areas are below that. Case in point, good morning to you. Double Springs down to 45, Jasper 41, Coleman's down to 42. So a cool fall, perfect start to our Saturday morning. However, I know we need the rain, but who wants rain on the weekend? I didn't think so, right? So temperatures are going to get out of the 40s, lower 50s, quickly climb into the mid and upper 70s. Later on this afternoon, wall-to-wall sunshine. The fire risk is extremely high, so no outdoor burning. And here's a quick look at the drought monitor, including all of Metro Birmingham on the exceptional side. So extreme to exceptional drought continues. We'll talk about a slight chance of rain coming up in my Storm Track 7-day forecast. Alex?
All right, thank you, Michael. Right now, Sylacauga police need your help finding a missing woman. Now, we first brought you this information as breaking news last night at 10. I want you to take a very good look at this picture right here. This is Joyce McDonald. She was last seen leaving her home Thursday around 5 p.m. She's 56 years old, 5 feet 6 inches tall, and weighs around 260 pounds. Joyce McDonald has green eyes and brown hair. If you've seen her or know where she is, please call Sylacauga Police immediately. New this morning, a Vanderbilt University student is sentenced to jail for his part in the rape of an unconscious student. Brandon Vanderberg has been sentenced to 17 years in jail after being in court yesterday morning. Vanderberg is considered the ringleader in a case where 4 Vanderbilt football players raped an unconscious female student. He, however, did not commit the sexual acts. Well, a community is reacting to a man who was charged in the shooting death of his girlfriend. Brandon Woodhull has also been a person of interest in the 2012 death of a former girlfriend who was also the mother of his child. Police have charged Woodhull in the shooting death of his girlfriend, Kaylee Lewis. After his arrest, the sheriff's office released a statement about the murder of the other woman, and Tanisha Dawson. Now, just 4 years ago, Dawson was 22 years old with a 1-year-old son. Tragically, her dead body, was found dumped on the side of the road. Now her mother is talking to our news team about her pain and her reaction to hearing that Brandon is charged in his most recent girlfriend's death. Here's some of what she told us.
If he did, I wish he would confess, come clean with himself. I prayed for so long. I mean, every day, all day.
Dawson's son is now 5 years old, and he is giving his grandmother a glimmer of hope and an unbreakable link to her daughter. Well, there are new developments in a homicide case in Alabaster. We now know a man is charged in the murder of a clerk at a gas station in the city. 43-year-old Michael Powell is charged with capital murder. He's accused of shooting 54-year-old Tracy Alger during a robbery at the Kirkland Chevron Sunday morning. Wreaths still hang outside the Chevron where Tracy Alger was shot and killed. Yesterday, her family gathered to say their final goodbyes during funeral services. On the same day, police arrested the man responsible for her death. Alger had 2 sisters, and her sister says everyone in her family truly loved her.
That she will always be there for me, whether it's an angel on my shoulder. She's going to be terribly missed.
Police arrested Powell at the View Apartments where he was living. Now, police say the arrest was made possible through officers' hard work and the community's help. Moving to this story, right now a man is facing charges for holding up a CVS employee at gunpoint in Hoover. 25-year-old Andre Billups is charged with first-degree robbery. He's in the Jefferson County Jail on a $30,000 bond. Now, police used surveillance video to identify Billups. U.S. Marshals and Hoover police arrested him at a house in Tarrant yesterday morning. The arrest stems from the October 16th armed robbery at the CVS. Police say Billups held the CVS clerk up with a shotgun and demanded money. Now his girlfriend, Janice Gregory, is also facing robbery charges in the case. She has already been released on a $30,000 bond. Well, the worsening drought in our area is starting to have a big impact. The Birmingham Water Works has now issued a stage 4 drought emergency for customers in Jefferson, Shelby, Blount, and St. Clair and Walker counties. We first told you about the new drought emergency as breaking news yesterday on the news at noon. There is a new 400% surcharge for excess water use over 1,200 cubic feet. Now, the Water Board says this: people with even number addresses should water only on Mondays. Those with odd number addresses water on Fridays. No one should do any watering between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And also, there should be no washing cars outside of commercial car washes. Well, the drought is not only affecting us and how much we can water, but it's also having a devastating impact on many farmers and ranchers, including one in Walker County. Harold Wade is a rancher there, and he says the drought is one of the worst he's ever seen. Some of his cattle, including some just born, cannot find water. Wade says the drought is hindering him from being able to pump the 3,000 gallons of water a day for his calves.
You work years to build your herd, and then a drought like this.
Well, the Walker County Extension Coordinator says we came through the past winter fairly dry and in need of rain, so it's having a pretty big impact this year. New this morning, we're learning more about a rare polio-like illness in Washington state. State health leaders are now saying 8 of the 9 children in the hospital for the sickness have a rare syndrome that causes varying degrees of limb weakness. The 8 cases have also been confirmed to be AFM, which affects the nervous system and the spinal cord.
That's what's alarming for us now, is that in a disease that really has not been seen, so 2 cases in 2014, none in 2015, and to see 8 cases that meet the case definition clustered this close together still remains a concern.
The children with acute flaccid myelitis range in age from 3 to 14 years old. Doctors have not found a common link between the children, but note the syndrome is not contagious. In campaign 2016, it's the final push to Election Day, and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are making their closing arguments to the voters. Weijia Jiang has the latest from the White House.
Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce helped Hillary Clinton excite voters in Cleveland, Ohio, Friday night.
We have unfinished business to do, more barriers to break, and with your help, a glass ceiling to crack once and for all.
Both candidates used their final Friday before Election Day to focus on their bases. Clinton energized minorities and women in big cities like Pittsburgh and Detroit, while Trump visited small-town America with stops in Atkinson, New Hampshire, Wilmington, Ohio, and Hershey, Pennsylvania.
I didn't have to bring J-Lo or Jay-Z, the only way she gets anybody. I'm here all by myself.
As the race moves into its final hours, a new national poll gives Clinton a 2-point lead when you factor in third-party candidates. And among the 13 battleground states that will decide the election, Clinton leads in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Virginia. But other states vital to victory are now neck and neck. They include Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado. Trump has a lead in Ohio. As the clock ticks down, the candidates are taking nothing for granted.
I'm asking you to dream big.
You can make the difference.
Both will cover thousands of miles this weekend in their final push for votes. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
And CBS 42 is your complete source for all election coverage. We'll have much more coming up this morning and in the days leading up to and beyond the election. All right, well, your time right now, it is 5:09. Get this, Samsung just really can't seem to catch a break. They're issuing more recalls after the break. The latest product to be recalled and why.
Good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. Live look outside, dark, early, and cool right now. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s. A full check on your weekend forecast right after this.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
All right, the weekend finally here. Cold front moved through yesterday. Behind the front, dry air, cooler air has moved in across central Alabama. Temperatures checking in the upper 40s. Good morning to you, Tuscaloosa. 49, 51 in Anniston, Birmingham, also at 51. To the north we go, Coleman. Good morning to you. You're down to 41. Our average low for this time of year right around 47, give or take. It's 51 in Ashland, 52 in Alex City, 48 in Clanton. So the sun comes up at 7:10. So once the sun comes up, the numbers will climb very quickly, and it's going to be a comfortable latter half of the morning, transitioning into the afternoon with lots of sunshine. Temperatures right around 71 at 12. Drought monitor continues to look not so good across all of central Alabama. Extreme to exceptional drought conditions are really taking grip across the metro Birmingham area down to the south, Shelby County, so no outdoor burning. All right, let's talk about the chance of rain. Let's talk about a few things real quick. Don't forget, set the clock back an hour. I know most of our smartphones, in fact, all of them should automatically do it on their own, but the one that might be hanging up on your wall, turn that thing back an hour. Daylight saving ends, so clock's back. Get out and vote on Tuesday, Veterans Day on Friday. That's when we have about a 30% chance of showers. We'll take what we can get. All right, caught on camera. Check out this huge dust storm cutting across parts of Arizona, Phoenix to be exact. The wall of dust started moving from the south into the valley along Interstate 10. There was also some heavy rain and lightning. The National Weather Service said to those people out there, hey, yo, watch out for some small hail, too. That is impressive video of a dust storm. Actually, that's downright scary looking to me.
And no one was hurt in that, from what I understand.
Well, that's good. I bet a lot of people are going to the car wash this morning.
Oof, yes, absolutely. Well, we're going to move to this important story. There's a recall we have to tell you about this morning. It's another recall from Samsung, but this time they're recalling nearly 3 million washing machines. Excuse me there. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says there are more than 700 reports of top-loading washing machines malfunctioning. They say the top of the machines actually fly off while in use. So far, there have been 9 injuries reported, including a broken jaw. The recall covers more than 34 machine models made between 2011 and now. Now listen to this. Samsung, they're offering free repairs, a rebate on the cost of a new machine, or a full refund. Well, you can learn more about the recall on our website, WIAT.com. Just search Samsung. New this morning, this is a big question. Do you work out a lot? Well, there's a new study that says that might be one of a number of behaviors that can contribute to financial well-being. We all love the money, right? Well, a new study from Lincoln Financial Group found people who exercise at least once a week are 35% more likely to be on the right financial track. Interesting. Researchers also discovered a connection between emotional health and financial security. One financial expert says with the open enrollment season being in effect right now, it's a good time to take a look at your choices. Well, the study also revealed 55% of employed Americans say they are on the right track when it comes to their finances. Well, new this morning, a Pennsylvania Walmart employee is charged with attempted murder after police say he shot a co-worker inside the store. This is the suspect you see here, 22-year-old Zachary McClemis. Police say he and the man shot, Jason Hall, had been in a fight over McClemis's decision to transition from male to female. McClemens told police that he reported Hall to management after he was threatened over the planned gender change, but no decision had been made. That's when McClemens went back to the Walmart and shot Hall several times.
There was definitely some bad blood between them, so to speak, and he felt the need to get a gun and resolve his dispute that way.
Well, Hall is in stable condition at an area hospital this morning. Walmart has no comment on the shooting or McClemens' claims that he was bullied.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information. Who to me, you got some coordination. Slave trick.
All right, a lot of people love that song, right? Formation. Listen to that. Caught on camera, you're taking a look at Beyonce performing during a rally for Hillary Clinton in Cleveland. And even more exciting, well, this is the first time Beyonce has ever performed on Clinton's behalf, but she's been a longtime supporter of Clinton. Other stars also came out like Jay-Z, Chance the Rapper, and Big Sean. Donald Trump held a rally in Pennsylvania where he bragged about being able to fill the stadium without special guests. Well, in entertainment news, it's good news if you're a Simpson fan. The show has just been renewed for an unprecedented 29th and 30th season. That means Homer and the gang will reach their 669th episode. The previous record was held by Gunsmoke, which aired 635 episodes. The Simpsons has been a cultural staple since it started in 1989, winning Emmys, inspiring theme parks, and countless yellow merchandise. Executive producer Al Jean says the team's new motto is, quote, on to 60. All right. Well, new this morning, singer Michael Bublé and his wife are putting their careers on hold this morning after revealing their 3-year-old son is battling cancer. Bublé said he and his wife are devastated by the diagnosis of their eldest son, Noah. The singer says his son is undergoing treatment here in the U.S. Well, in health news this morning, a new study tests birth control for men. And are women gaining on men when it comes to drinking alcohol? Well, Kenneth Craig has some of the week's top health stories that you need to know.
Women may be catching up to men when it comes to alcohol consumption. That's according to an international review that looked at 100 years of data. Doctors found the gap between the sexes nearly disappearing in problematic usage and associated harms over time. A new study shows men can take birth control shots to prevent their partner from getting pregnant. The World Health Organization found the hormone therapy it tested was 95% effective, but had significant side effects, including depression and muscle pain. Still, more than 75% of participants were open to using this method of contraception. And more Americans are having medical procedures outside the hospital operating room that require anesthesia. That's according to researchers in Dallas. They found more than 1/3 of Americans undergoing such procedures have them done outside the OR, an increase of 27% in the past 5 years. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
In consumer news this morning, one city in Ohio is combining business and safety with 2 new safe zones for people to meet after they buy things online. There are now 2 so-called exchange safe zones outside the Sheriff's Department in St. Clairsville, Ohio. They're there for anyone who needs a safe spot to meet someone just in case that meeting could get dangerous. Most often, they're used for buyers and sellers from online shopping to meet up and swap products.
You know, the world's not always a safe place, and sometimes things look really good and they're not. And people have lost their lives over thinking they were going to, be buying a dresser.
Cameras are always rolling on the 2 spaces for extra protection and safety. All right, well, your time right now, it's 5:20. It's been 1 month since Hurricane Matthew, and help is still coming to those most in need. Coming up, the Birmingham school packing the bus to bring supplies to North Carolina. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News, a live look over Birmingham this Saturday morning. We'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everyone. Happening today, a special walk is going on to help raise money to support Alzheimer's, but it's not your typical walk. The Walk to Remember is set to start at 8 a.m. inside the River Chase Galleria. It's a 3-mile indoor walk to support Alzheimer's research, provide education and support. So it's, of course, the perfect activity to get outside. Actually, I meant to say get inside and get some exercise and help out the community. Really unique there. Well, it's been 1 month since Hurricane Matthew hit the East Coast, causing flooding in several states. People from all over the country have pitched in to help, including students right here in Birmingham. For the past 2 weeks, the boys and girls at J.S. Abrams Elementary School collected school supplies for students at Union Elementary School in Clinton, North Carolina. The donation drive was spearheaded by Abrams teachers Quentin and Michelle Jackson. There they are right there. They're participants in the Eco Savings Race. Eco Credit Union presented the school with a large donation of school supplies to help in the collection efforts.
The school served as a shelter during Hurricane Matthew. The school itself was not affected, but the population that it served, most of their students lost everything that they had.
Michelle and Quentin are participants in the Eco Savings Race. Eco Credit Union presented the school with a large donation of school supplies to help in the collection efforts. Well, just in case you didn't hear me the first time, you heard it again. It was good, right? That's really good that they're doing all that.
Round of applause.
Yeah, good for them.
What's up?
What's up? I'm good.
You good?
Let's talk about weather, though. I know you guys want to know.
All right, let's do it. We've got a lot to talk about. The time change. Let's see, the big election.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be so glad when that's done and over with.
Just a few more days, folks.
Tuesday. A couple more days. Hang in there. Live look outside. Good Saturday morning to you, Birmingham. The sky is clear. Temperatures right now in the lower 50s and upper 40s. Good morning to you, Tuscaloosa. Checking in at 49. Anniston, both Birmingham at 51. The sky is clear. Elsewhere across north central Alabama, we got 47 on the thermometer. Good morning to you, Gadsden. 41 Coleman, 42 Double Springs. Clanton checking in at 48. I want to walk you through the forecast hour by hour here with our Storm Track Futurecast. We've got the temperature contour turned on. The sun is going to come up at 7:10, so wall-to-wall sunshine this morning. Temperatures out of the 40s and 50s and quickly rebounding into the mid to upper 70s. Average high for this time of year is right around 69. Tonight, the sky remains clear and temperatures will start to drop back into the 40s and 50s overnight into tomorrow morning. Okay, game day forecast. Vanderbilt at Auburn. Tailgaters, temperatures in the 50s. Kickoff is at 11 o'clock, so temperatures in the lower 60s. Final whistle down into the lower 70s. Alabama at LSU, Baton Rouge. Temperatures. Tailgaters, mid to upper 70s, 7 p.m. kickoff, and P.S. the game right here, only on CBS 42. And the final whistle, nice weather out there in the lower 60s, mainly clear sky. Now, it's been high and dry for way too long. I think today is 48 or 49 number of days with no rainfall reported at Birmingham Shuttlesworth International, so the drought monitor is showing the areas of concern, and that includes all of central Alabama. Exceptional drought stretching from eastern parts of Jefferson County, including Metro Birmingham, south into Shelby County. So keep in mind, the fire danger risk is way up there, and conserve the water as best as you possibly can. Storm Track 7-day forecast. Tonight, we fall back. We gain that extra hour of sleep tomorrow morning. Somehow, I just feel like this is not really gaining any sleep because the sun goes down oh so early, but whatevs. And then Tuesday, get out and vote. Next chance of rain on Friday. Alex.
Love getting that extra hour of sleep. Thanks, Michael. Well, your time right now, it is 5:27. One Alabama high school principal is suspended after allegedly being involved in burning school property. Next, more on the case, including what some want to see done. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alex Finney, and this is the CBS 42 Morning News Weekend. We're so happy that you're joining us here on your Saturday morning. And to kick it off, we're going to get a check on your weather, your weekend weather, with Storm Track meteorologist Michael Smith.
Hello.
You're the expert.
Yeah, I'm a little thrown off though. During the commercial break, this one here, Alex Finney just told me she is cutting out coffee.
I am sorry. I've heard that there are a lot of health benefits to doing that, so get it back at me in about a week.
Okay, point taken. All right, good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. Live look outside across the Magic City. Temperatures, ooh, my time's flying here. Upper 40s, lower 50s. Elsewhere across North Central Alabama, temperatures down into the lower 40s. It's a big game day across the state. So Vanderbilt at Auburn, 11 a.m. kickoff, temperatures around 63. And the Crimson Tide taking on LSU. You can watch the game right here on CBS 42, 7 p.m. kickoff, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. All right, let's talk about my Storm Track 7-day forecast. We fall back tonight into tomorrow morning, so don't forget that. Most of the clocks on our smartphones and computers will automatically do it, but if you got one clock on your wall like I do, you got to set that puppy back an hour and then get out and vote Tuesday. Next chance of rain when? Friday on Veterans Day. Alex?
All right. Thank you, Michael. Well, developing now, a Berry High School coach is suspended for his part in allegedly burning school property. Some people are now calling for the coach to be fired. Danny Rains was suspended for the last 2 regular season games in October after a player, or I should say players, were seen burning a football. The football symbolized the Wildcats' 30-year field goal record. That record was broken at a game on Friday. The Friday before, actually, the video was posted, and the burned football belonged to the mayor's son, Jeff Madison.
This is not about the football, not at all. Records are supposed to be broken. Congratulations to the young man. But it's about the example this teacher, coach is setting for our students.
Well, Coach Rains says he maintains that he did not know what the players were going to do with the football before the video was discovered. We have been trying to reach out for comment, but still have not heard back. Well, developing now, Vestavia Hills police are investigating what they're calling an unclassified death. Now, we first told you about this as breaking news yesterday on the news at noon. A person was found dead inside the garage of a home on South Cove Drive yesterday morning. Police tell us there was evidence of a fire at the house, but it was out by the time firefighters got there. A state fire marshal was called in to help with the investigation. Right now, 2 people are wanted for questioning after a Tuscaloosa County man goes missing. These are the 2 people wanted for questioning. We're told 31-year-old Donnie McCutcheon and 33-year-old Annie Ware were last seen near Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, investigators in Tuscaloosa County want to talk to them about 59-year-old Morris Watson. He was last seen September 9th driving his 1992 white Chevy truck. It has a ladder rack on top and a toolbox in the bed. Anyone who has information on this case is asked to call the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office, and their number is 464-8672.
Our education system in this state sucks.
Strong words from Governor Bentley there, who is facing strong criticism after those words that you just heard. He is now trying to clarify what he meant about the state's education system, but he is not apologizing.
The numbers do not lie. No one, including me as your governor, should ever settle for last place in anything, especially when it comes to our children. We cannot continue to ignore the problem and hope that it will go away.
Our education system.
Bentley said he's received invitations from teachers around the state to see the innovative activities going on in their classrooms. He says he knows that many teachers are making great strides, and he posted a 3-minute-long video online yesterday saying the state's education system needs a lot of improvement. Well, our news team spoke to several teachers, and they say they were especially offended by Bentley's language in the original comments. Well, the drought has been on everyone's mind. Continuing coverage, it may have a big impact on households and local rivers. This is brand new video of the Cahaba River. You can see the water level is dramatically lower than it should be. It's been nearly 50 days since we have gotten a significant rain here in Birmingham. Well, switching gears this morning to this story. Vandals hit Donald Trump's campaign office in Denver for the second time in 24 hours. This is video of the damage, including a broken window and a shattered glass panel. About 24 volunteers and staff were making calls when the vandalism happened.
This is America. Doesn't matter what candidate it is. It shouldn't come down to vandalizing something.
Well, a security guard for the office was able to detain the man believed to have thrown that rock until officers arrived and could take him into custody. New this morning, Election Day is Tuesday, just a few days away, and the U.S. Census Bureau released research that shows that one of the leading reasons why people don't vote, well, is because they're away from their home on Election Day. Analysts say there are about 2 million people who will be traveling on Election Day. There's some help available that can make sure everyone knows what to do to make sure their vote counts. The travel industry teamed up with Google to offer some help. Go to Expedia.com/vote. There you will find a lot of voting options for you. They make it easy as well. Well, speaking of voting, new this morning, take a look at these long early voting lines in Arizona. There were so many voters at the Scottsdale City Hall, workers had to start handing out numbers to voters in line. Nearly a dozen people who had been given those paper placeholders and chose to wait their turn outside were locked out of the building. Scottsdale police were called to mediate between angry voters and election workers. Well, also new this morning, 2 people are hurt after this car that you see here crashes into a cell phone store in Burbank, California. 2 cars hit each other, sending one into the air and actually into the AT&T store, I should say. Thankfully, no one inside the store was hurt, and the people hurt were in the cars that hit each other. Well, right now, the NYPD and the mayor of New York City are coming together after a sergeant is killed and another is in the hospital after being shot. The deadly shootout started when the 2 sergeants responded to a call of a robbery in the Bronx. When they got on the scene, they found the suspect about a half a mile away from the robbery in a red SUV. The shootout started, and after the deadly encounter, detectives swarmed the area.
The loss, a very good man, a devoted man, a man who committed his life to protecting all of us, and we will support that family.
Sad moments there. City leaders say they are sick after the city has lost a brave man and a father of 2. Well, your time right now, it is 5:38. We're going to go to this story after the break. 4 Miami high school students are in serious trouble after police find a gun at a school. Next, how police found the gun, and also hear from one student during the scary lockdown. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. That story and much more right after the break. Stay with us.
watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. The weekend is here. Cooler, drier air has moved back in. Temperatures right now, upper 40s. Good morning to you, T-Town. Checking in at 49:51 Birmingham and Anniston. To the north we go, right up Interstate 65. Coleman, you're down to 40 degrees. Our average low for this time of year is right around 47, 48. So we're pretty much where we should be for this time of year, this time of morning. Sun up at 7:10. Once the sun comes up, temperatures respond and rebound nicely. Between 8 and 10 this morning, out of the 50s, transitioning into the 60s, mid-60s, give or take a degree or two by 10. 12 o'clock this afternoon, 71. Not done climbing. We're going to top out right around 75, 76. Wall-to-wall sunshine. We could use the rain. Not happening today. Big game happening today. Alabama at LSU. You can watch it on one station and one station only. That's right here, CBS 42, 7 p.m. Kickoff. Temperatures there in the mid to upper 60s. Real quick, Storm Track 7-day forecast. Next chance of rain, low at 30% on Veterans Day, but we'll take anything and every drop we can get. Alex.
Thanks, Michael. New this morning, 4 Miami high school students have been arrested after police say a loaded gun was found on the campus of Norland Senior High. The school was placed on lockdown after police received an anonymous tip through the See Something, Say Something program. Parents stood by as officers searched the school, eventually locating the gun with no injuries.
It was getting scary because there was actual security guards knocking on the door and we didn't know if it was the person with the gun.
4 arrested students, 3 males and 1 female, are charged with possession of a firearm on school property. The University of Alabama is moving ahead with plans for a brand new performing arts center on campus. I just saw Kristen there. You put your hands up for that one. A new $60 million performing arts center is now in the works. It will be in the restored former Bryce Hospital on campus. There will be new faculty offices and rehearsal space for theater and dance. Plus, museums will be dedicated to the university's history and the history of mental health in Alabama. Love that. Well, it's not even Thanksgiving, and the White House is already getting ready for Christmas. It's time to choose the famous Christmas tree. This 80-foot tall tree that you see on your screens was chosen for the holidays last year. It comes from McCall, Idaho. The huge tree will eventually be decorated with over 18,000 handmade ornaments. Oof, that's a lot of decoration. Well, in entertainment news this morning, award season is upon us, and a pair of acting talent are slated to receive special honors in the coming weeks. Rick DeMiguela has the names and more in the Hollywood Minute.
Meryl Streep will soon have another award for her mantle. The Wrap reports the actress has been tapped to receive the Golden Globes Cecil B. DeMille Award for outstanding contributions to the world of entertainment. Streep's honor and the rest of the Golden Globes will be awarded on January 8th.
Thank you.
More award season news. Sidney Poitier will be honored in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. The salute will take place during the 8th African American Film Critics Association Awards on December 12th.
Hey, kid, what's going on? War! We're going to war!
It's back to the front for the Starship Troopers. The Hollywood Reporter says Columbia Pictures is rebooting the sci-fi franchise, with Baywatch movie scribes Mark Swift and Damian Shannon penning the script, and Fast and Furious producer Neil H. Moritz producing. The Reporter says the studio is going back to the original novel by Robert Heinlein for the reboot. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
All right, well, your time right now, it is 5:45 on the dot. It's a big day for Alabama and LSU fans. Stay with us. Full sports coverage is right after the break here on CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, welcome back. Well, we are just hours away from the big game between Alabama and LSU, and fans, well, they're already geared up. CBS 42 caught up with some of those fans making the trip down by train. Many tell us that you can't really beat the cheap prices and the convenience. It's a 7.5-hour train ride to Baton Rouge. You can catch the Alabama game right here on CBS 42 tonight at 7 o'clock. The CBS 42 sports team has you covered with college football this weekend. We will be live tonight leading up to kickoff at 7 o'clock right here on CBS 42. And of course, as always, stay with us after the game for the Red Zone post-game show.
It's playoff time in the state of Alabama. Winner moving on to the next round. The loser gets to play basketball. The Mountain Brook Spartans certainly hoping to keep playing football at least for a few more weeks. As our game of the week with the Spartans hosting Gadsden City. First quarter, Damon Williams for the Titans had a big day on the ground here. He is weaving through that Spartan defense like a hot knife through butter. Gets him into the red zone, but the Titans had to settle for a couple field goals early. They led 6-0 at the half. Third quarter, the Spartan offense finally breaks through thanks to Harold Joyner. There's a reason Auburn's interested in him. Takes the Wildcat snap himself. 32 yards later, that's a touchdown. Spartans on the board take a 7-6 lead. But Gadsden City scores a late touchdown. They win it 15-7. The Alpha Fan Cam this week at Hewitt-Trussville. Husky fans have had a lot of reasons to cheer this season. The Huskies will give them a few more last night as they hosted visiting Oak Mountain. It was tied at 7 early, but if you know this Husky squad, you know they're going to score points. Grayson Cash takes the handoff around the end for a 4-yard stroll into the end zone. It's 14-7 Hewitt. Huskies smelling blood in the water. Time for a gamble. What are they going to do? Onside kick. Huskies recover. They would never look back. All the momentum with Hewitt-Trussville. And this time, Cash, he was absolutely money out of the Wildcat. He's going to take it right up the gut for a touchdown. The Huskies beat the Eagles 63-21. Jerry Hood and Clay Chalkville visiting Ramsey at Legion Field. End of the first half. Benico Harley back to punt. We're going to give that one a perfect 10 for height at least, but our Weathermark Keith play of the week, Skylar McLean takes it and grabs it in, rumbles in for 6. 24-21 Ramsey at the half. The Rams just too much in the end. Harley tosses it to Josh Warren. Nice catch, nice hit, but it results in a touchdown. Ramsey wins 38-28. Jackson Olin earned the right to host a playoff game against Pinson Valley in the third, already up 14-3. Pinson, when the Indians tack on a field goal to make it 17-3, and then the Mustangs' next drive would stall the first play of Pinson's next drive. Backwards pass from Jackie Matthews. That's going to bounce into the end zone to make it 17-5. Now in the fourth, and J.O. driving when Braylon Johnson fumbles into the end zone. Bad luck there. Indians win and advance 31-5. Region winners Minor hosting Homewood tonight. Already 6-0 Tigers when Jakur Jackson fakes out everyone in the stadium, including the camera. Hits a streaking Delonte Evans for 6. 12-0 Tigers at that point, but Homewood would fight back. Patriots finding the end zone with Ty Hatcher. I wonder if he's related to Chris Hatcher. In fact, he is. He finds Andrew Cleveland. Minor would come back down the field, looking to extend the lead, but Jackson's picked off in the end zone by C.D. Daniels. It wouldn't be enough, though. Minor pulls away late to win 42-21. Exciting first round of the playoffs. It's only going to get better from here as the stakes get higher, the pressure gets higher, all going towards that state championship everyone is chasing. That's it for sports. Let's send it back over to the desk.
All right, well, your time right now, it is 5:51. A community is reacting after a man is charged in the death of his girlfriend. Coming up, hear from a mother after her daughter is killed after dating the same man. You're watching CBS 42 Morning News. Live look over Chicago, the home of the World Series champions. We'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, it's Saturday. I know you guys are getting ready to start your day, so let's get a check on your weekend forecast. Michael?
Yo.
It was a little chilly waking up this morning, which was nice, right? Break from those hot temperatures we've been feeling.
Yeah, we had a
But-
stretch, but there's
Dot,
always
dot, dot.
there's always a but, right?
Always.
Yeah, we had a stretch of days with record highs.
Right.
Those days are done and over with for now. It's still dry outside, but temperatures very comfortable, and I want to share some viewer photos.
Look at that.
This one from Clay. It says over Clay, Alabama. Did you notice the clouds? Can you see them there?
I do see them.
We
That's
had
a pretty
few,
picture.
Yeah, we had a few clouds overhead yesterday, a few sprinkles.
Ooh.
Look at Lake Purdy. I actually went out there and took that picture. Where is the lake?
Yeah, dried up.
Dried up because of the drought. That's
Not
right.
good.
Okay, speaking of the drought, I want to show you our latest on the drought monitor. Extreme to exceptional drought conditions across pretty much all of central Alabama. So I'll take you in tighter and show you some of the specifics here. Birmingham Metro underneath the exceptional condition of drought. So we're about 9 to 10 inches below normal as far as our annual average rainfall goes. No outdoor burning. High and dry as we kick off another weekend. So a live look outside across the Magic City. The sky is clear. Temperatures currently in the lower 50s. Our average low for this time of year, 47. Anniston and Tuscaloosa both at 48. To the north, temperatures are cooler, 40. Good morning to you, Coleman. It's 42 in Double Springs, 48 right now in Clanton. Sun up at 7:10. Once the sun comes up, temperatures will respond and rebound very nicely into the comfortable zone by, I'd say, 12 o'clock this afternoon. Temperatures in the lower 70s. We're going to peak in the mid to upper 70s. Our average high for this time of year, 69, so above the mark. A big game, and you can watch it only on one station. Guess which station? This one, CBS 42. Alabama at LSU, 7 p.m. kick. 67 on the thermometer. Also Vanderbilt at Auburn, 11 a.m. kick. Temperatures in the lower 60s. Storm Track 7-day forecast. Got a lot going on. We fall back tonight for tomorrow morning. Get out there and vote on Tuesday. Veterans Day, we've got a chance of showers, albeit a low chance at 30%. Afternoon highs at that point, right around 70. Alex?
All right, thank you, Michael. Well, your time right now, it is 5:57. To this story after the break, doctors in Washington State released brand new information on a rare polio illness. Ahead, what they're now saying about the patients and the illness. We're going to let you know right here on CBS 42 Morning News. Live look over Tokyo, the capital of Japan. Beautiful. We'll be right back.
Good morning, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Anniston, and all of Central Alabama. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for waking up with us. It is Saturday. The weekend is here. Let's all celebrate. Even though we're working, we love being with you every single weekend, Michael and I. So, Michael, as we always do, we start you off with the forecast.
Yeah, and it's kind of been a broken record, but I'm going to mix it up
just a little bit.
As best as I
Do
can
a little bit of a
here
remix.
with what I've got. Live look outside. We've got the one camera for now, the one and only Tower Cam, located on top of our really tall tower. Does anyone know how tall that thing is? I'm just curious. Okay, we'll have to Wikipedia that. All right, so it's a clear start on this Saturday morning. Temperatures currently in the upper 40s and lower 50s. In case you're wondering what our average low for this time of year is, 47, so not too far off the mark. All right, the sun comes up at 7:10, but until then, this is the coolest point of the morning. We've got a little sliver of 40s right here cutting across Interstate 20. Talladega, good morning to you, at 46. 40 right now in Jasper and Coleman, 41. Double Springs, Alabaster at 48. So as we head through time, again, sunrise 7:10. Once the sun comes up, temperatures rebound nicely. 74, give or take a degree or two. Across the board here, Birmingham forecasting 74, this particular forecast model. Isn't it good looking, this model? Okay, as we head through the day, temperatures continue to be very comfortable and seasonal for this time of year. We'll talk about the next chance of rain coming up in my Storm Track 7-day forecast. Alex.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, right now the search continues for a missing woman out of Sylacauga. I want you to take a very close look at this picture. This who you see here is Joyce McDonald. She was last seen leaving her home Thursday night around 5 o'clock. She's 56 years old, 5 feet 6 inches tall, and weighs about 260 pounds. McDonald has green eyes and brown hair. If you know where she is, please call Sylacauga Police immediately. A man charged with capital murder in the death of a young woman this week is now a person of interest in the 2012 death of a former girlfriend. She was also the mother of his child. Brandon Woodall was charged in the shooting death of his most recent girlfriend, Kalia Lewis. That arrest prompted a statement from the sheriff's office about the murder of Antonisha Dawson. Now her mother is reliving the pain all over again. Dawson was 22 years old when she died. Her body was found dumped on the side of the road. She left behind a 1-year-old son, and now questions swirl as to who may have killed her. Well, now with Woodall charged in Lewis's death, those questions are coming up again. Sharon Dawson says it's like a rerun, seeing Woodall's name connected to the death of another young woman. Lewis's mother is also speaking out about the possible connection.
I never thought in a million years he would have robbed her of her life at the age of 25.
If he did, I wish he would confess, come clean with himself. I prayed for so long. I mean, every day, all day.
For both mothers, very sad situation. Both mothers have expressed an interest in meeting to help each other in the healing process. New this morning, a former information technology employee of the Madison County Sheriff's Office was arrested after authorities say they found child pornography on his old work computer. Sheriff Blake Dorning says 36-year-old Jonathan Sheldon is charged with 2 counts of possession of child pornography. Sheldon left his job at the sheriff's office weeks ago for another job. Authorities were conducting an unrelated investigation when they found the pornography. Well, developing now, a high school football coach is suspended for his part in burning school property. Now, some Berry High School football fans are very upset, even calling for the coach to be fired. Danny Rains was suspended for the last 2 regular games in October after video surfaced of players burning a football. But the football symbolized the Wildcats' 30-year field goal record. The record was broken at a game on the Friday before the video was posted, and the burned football belonged to the mayor's son, Jeff Madison.
This is not about the football, not at all. Records are supposed to be broken. Congratulations to the young man. But it's about the example this teacher, coach is setting for our students.
Well, Coach Raines maintains he did not know what the players were going to do with the football before the video was discovered. Madison says there are text messages allegedly proving that may not be the case. Well, new this morning, doctors say 8 of 9 children admitted to a Seattle hospital with neurological illnesses are battling the same rare disorder. Acute flaccid myelitis affects the nervous system and presents itself with flu-like symptoms. Health officials are still looking for a link between the cases.
That's what's alarming for us now, is that in a disease that really has not been seen, so 2 cases in 2014, none in 2015, and to see 8 cases that meet the case definition clustered this close together still remains a concern.
AFM is not contagious. Right now, there is no specific treatment for the virus. New this morning, a former Vanderbilt University football player is sentenced to 17 years in prison after a rape conviction. Brandon Vandenberg was convicted of sexual assault back in June. He was found guilty of orchestrating the gang rape of a woman he was dating back in 2013. Vandenberg pleaded for a lighter sentence, but the state says the victim suffering emotional distress made him more responsible. The judge agreed.
The court believes that the defendant was a leader in this particular offense, but for him, it would not have happened. And in particular, the court believes that he is the one who could stop this.
Vandenberg will serve 17 years without parole. Well, switching gears now, in campaign 2016, it's the final weekend before Election Day on Tuesday. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are busy making their closing arguments to voters. Weijia Jiang has more on the star power Clinton enlisted for her final push.
Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce helped Hillary Clinton excite voters in Cleveland, Ohio, Friday night.
We have unfinished business to do. More barriers to break, and with your help, a glass ceiling to crack once and for all.
Both candidates used their final Friday before Election Day to focus on their bases. Clinton energized minorities and women in big cities like Pittsburgh and Detroit, while Trump visited small-town America with stops in Atkinson, New Hampshire, Wilmington, Ohio, and Hershey, Pennsylvania.
I didn't have to bring J-Lo or Jay-Z, the only way she gets anybody. I'm here all by myself.
As the race moves into its final hours, a new national poll gives Clinton a 2-point lead when you factor in third-party candidates. And among the 13 battleground states that will decide the election, Clinton leads in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Virginia. But other states vital to victory are now neck and neck. They include Florida, North Carolina, and Colorado. Trump has a lead in Ohio. As the clock ticks down, the candidates are taking nothing for granted.
I'm asking you to dream big.
You can make the difference.
Both will cover thousands of miles this weekend in their final push for votes. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
Developing now, a serious lack of rain continues to impact local water levels. This is brand new video from the Cahaba River, which shows just how much the drought is having an effect on rivers and lakes in the area. It's been almost 50 days, can you believe it, since we've seen any significant rain here in Birmingham. Well, Birmingham Waterworks customers in Jefferson, Shelby, Blount, St. Clair, and Walker counties are now under a stage 4 drought emergency. Now you'll face a surcharge of 400% for any amount of usage over 1,200 cubic feet. That's in addition to normal charges. Birmingham Waterworks says the average residential customer uses less than 1,000 cubic feet. Well, we're going to break it down a little further for you. The Water Board says those people with even number addresses should water only on Mondays. Those with odd number addresses water on Fridays. Now, no one should do any watering between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And also, there should be no washing of vehicles outside of commercial car washes. So keep that in mind. New this morning, a school comes together to remember one of their own. 16-year-old Hyarami Daniels died Wednesday. Daniels was a member of the color guard at Minor High School, so the marching band there paid a special tribute to her during last night's halftime show. The band also showed their support for Daniels' family with a presentation of roses to her father. The Tigers beat Homewood 42-21. Happening today, rev those engines up, everyone. It's the 23rd annual Teddy Bear Ride. The ride is hosted by the Birmingham Harley Owner Group. It raises money for the Big Oak Ranch Christian Home. Registration starts this morning at 9 at Riders, Harley, Davidson, and Trussville. From there, they'll ride to Big Oak Ranch in Springville starting at 1 this afternoon. Riders and spectators can also take part in a raffle happening at Riders, Harley, Davidson. All right, love that. Well, your time right now, it is 6:11. After the break, people are coming together to help victims of a deadly pipeline blast in Shelby County. Straight ahead, how you can get involved and pitch in for the families.
Good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. I want to give a shout out to Denise Watford. We love starting our weekend mornings with you too, Denise. Live look outside. You can see Children's of Alabama and Region Center all lit up. We're going to talk about our weekend forecast on the flip side of the break.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. Thanks for starting off your weekend with myself and Alex Finney. Live look outside on the Saturday morning. You can see Regions Center lit up. I think that's a holiday wreath, perhaps. That's what the general consensus of the five of us here at the station say. Okay, I can tell you this. It is cooler outside compared to yesterday morning. 48 right now. Anniston, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham checking in at 51. Elsewhere across Central Alabama to the north we go. Cleveland, good morning to you, 46. 40 right now in Coleman, 41 in Double Springs, Clanton at 48. Game day forecast. The Alabama Crimson Tide taking on LSU. They're playing in Baton Rouge. Kickoff 7 p.m. and you can watch the game only on one station, and that's this station, CBS 42. All right, let me show you our 7-day forecast. A chance of rain, yep, but not until Friday. A 30% chance on Veterans Day. Staying dry up until that point with highs in the 70s, overnight lows in the 40s and 50s. Alex.
All right, looking good. Thanks, Michael. Right now, the National Transportation Safety Board is joining an investigation into what caused Monday's deadly Colonial Pipeline blast in Shelby County. We know one person is dead, while 5 others were hurt. The company is planning to restart the gas line tomorrow, while those close to the tragedy are busy helping victims and their families. CBS 42 News reporter Sarah Canty spoke exclusively with some pipeline workers' wives about their plans.
It's impossible to fathom what the families of the loved ones went through watching this plume of smoke on TV after the explosion Monday, especially the families of the pipeline workers miles away in Heflin. The L.E. Bell construction wives say immediately they wanted to help the families of the victims. At least 3 are still in the burn unit. The wives are organizing a huge lunch fundraiser for the victims' families on Wednesday because they say when something happens, good or bad, they are there for each other.
When you feel like you can't keep going, they kind of lift you up and tell you it's going to be okay.
I can only imagine what they were going through, you know?
The community has really come together as far as, you know, stepping up and helping and doing whatever they can do. We've had a huge response to everything. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And the community has come together, donating just about everything they need to sell hundreds of lunches on Wednesday in Heflin. All of this information on your screen is on our website, WIAT.com. Just search Pipeline. All of the proceeds are going to the victims and their families. In studio, Sarah Canty, CBS 42 News.
All right. Well, sad situation in Shelby County this week. You can also help the families affected by the pipeline explosion by donating gift cards or purchasing T-shirts. We have all that information on our website right now at WIAT.com. We've posted all the information you need on our website, WIAT.com, in regards to this story and other stories related to the pipeline that we've been sharing with you throughout the week. So just head there. Well, new this morning, an Illinois senator who made disparaging comments about his competitor's racial background is now apologizing.
I would like to take this moment to thank Tammy for accepting my apology when I disparaged her family's admirable military record.
Thank you.
That I think that having lost 2 legs in the Iraq War, you are to be honored, and we are, the way we repay that debt is by honoring your service, especially that of you and your family.
Kirk made controversial comments about Democratic challenger Tammy Duckworth's military family history by bringing up her mother's Chinese heritage and Thai birthplace. The two are in a highly contested Senate race. Kirk is widely seen as the most vulnerable Republican seeking re-election. New this morning, federal authorities make a major gang and drug bust across several states. Police say it involves 20 members and acquaintances of a gang named Mad Stonebloods. Those arrested face charges ranging from murder to drug trafficking. Arrests were made in Texas, New York, Maryland, Georgia, and Virginia. Officials say several Virginia State Corrections employees are also charged in connection to the crimes.
Armed robberies, shootings, interstate gun running, narcotics trafficking, pistol whippings, and credit card fraud.
Well, investigators say 3 corrections employees tried to smuggle drugs into the prison cells. A 4th employee was allegedly in a sexual relationship with a gang member. Court papers show the gang leaders are based in New York. New this morning, commemorative baseball bats honoring the Chicago Cubs World Series wins are rolling off the assembly line. Look at that. Louisville Slugger has been making World Series bats since the first championship was held back in 1903. Employees got to work just hours after the Cubs' victory Wednesday night. Several bats are up for sale. They range from mini bats to full-size, sequentially numbered bats. Louisville Slugger says they expect to sell about 50,000 full-size souvenir bats at $139.99 a piece. Well, guess what? Definitely worth it, right? Well, your time right now, it is 6:19. We're going to move to this story after the break. An arrest is made in the death of a beloved gas station clerk. Coming up, what we've learned about the investigation right here on CBS 42 Morning News. Live look over New York City. Happy Saturday. We'll be right back.
One of Hoover's newest businesses is a local pharmacy, but the idea for that pharmacy has been around for quite a while.
My dad has had a lot of back trouble my whole life, and so we spent a lot of time at the pharmacy, and so when I was younger, it was really fascinating. There was high counters, it was like just really interesting what they were doing back there, and then got to know them really well. They passed out candy, things like that, and so I was like, I think I really want to be a pharmacist. Like, I was interested in the 6th grade.
After thinking, contemplating, learning, and planning from 6th grade through college and beyond, 2016 is the year that dream became a reality.
I've wanted to do it for so long that I've been working at it for a really long time. I had a business plan written back when I was still in pharmacy school and just really ready to dive in.
And that's just what she's done, opening Hoover Hometown Pharmacy using all she learned from her mentors along the way. And that means caring and personal service for every patient through the door.
She has gone above and beyond to take care of my parents and their medication. If there's something that she doesn't have, she'll call and say, hey, I don't have it, don't waste your time coming. I'll have it here by tomorrow or by Monday, and you can just come on by then. It saves a lot of time, and it just shows that she really cares, where we didn't get that at another store. So it's just unfortunate.
They've become more like your friends than your patients, and that's what I really enjoy about it.
One of my favorite parts is that if you bring in your church bulletin on Monday, 10% of any of your over-the-counter purchases will be donated back to your hometown church.
The pharmacy also helps other local businesses with gifts from around the Birmingham area. For Culpeper, it's that commitment to community she hopes will bring people to her brand of personal service.
I've managed independent pharmacies for years, and whenever we've gotten a customer through the door, they never want to leave, and we get referrals with their family members. They love the quality and care that they get here. You don't get that elsewhere.
In Hoover, Lillian Lalo, CBS 42.
The preceding portion of the CBS 42 Morning News was sponsored by Hoover Hometown Pharmacy. You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
All right, everyone, welcome back. It's 6:25. Still got 35 minutes left. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get a check on your weekend forecast, because I know a lot of you have big plans this weekend. Michael,
Yes.
you're the guru.
Oh, I don't know about
Sprinkle
that.
us with some good news.
I will do my best. I'm going to deliver what I got. And hey, it's cooler this morning.
Yes.
No rain of significance over the past. I think we're at day 48, 49. Hey, it's all the same at this point. The drought continues. We need some rain, not in the cards as we kick off this weekend. Good morning to you, Anniston and Tuscaloosa, both at 48. Birmingham, 51, sun up at 7:10. Speaking of the drought, here's the latest drought monitor. The darker shades of red indicate exceptional drought. It's really not a good news situation here. We just need a nice soaking rainfall, not only one, but several, and that's not in the works as we head through the weekend. So the sun is up at 7:10. Temperatures a little on the cool/crisp side early this morning, but if you don't like that, you just hang in there. Wait an hour or two. Temperatures get out of the 40s into the upper 50s to near 60 by 9. 1 o'clock this afternoon, 73. Forecasting a high of 76. Our average high for this time of year is 69. In case you haven't heard, big game airing right here on CBS 42, Alabama at LSU. 7 p.m. kickoff, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Another big game here in the state of Alabama, Vanderbilt at Auburn, 11 a.m. kickoff, temperatures in the lower 60s. So here's a look at my Storm Track 7-day forecast. Where's the rain? Maybe Friday. But with that being said, we have a lot of things happening this weekend into next week. Tonight, set the clock back 1 hour. Daylight saving time comes to a halt. Then we've got a big election day on Tuesday. Get out there and rock your vote. Veterans Day Friday, couple of showers in the forecast. We'll take whatever we can get. Alex?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Thank you, Michael. Well, your time right now, it is 6:27, and Election Day, it's just right around the corner. Can you believe it? But to this, though, after the break, could a serious threat be lurking? We're going to get to that serious story right after the break. Still ahead, why the FBI is investigating. We'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday to you all. I'm Alex Finney, and Michael Smith is here to give you a look at your forecast on this Saturday morning. And Michael, as you've been telling us, it is going to be a pretty nice day.
It is. It's going to be dry.
Chilly?
So a little chilly. I know you can't really see it, but this is one of these LED lights. You just let it shine. If you're going to light anything up, that's the way to do it on this Saturday morning. And really over the next stretch of days, because the drought continues. Live look sun up at 7:10. Camera looking off to the east. Temperatures right now in the upper 40s. Good morning to you, Anniston and Tuscaloosa, both checking in at 48. Birmingham, 51. Ooh, Coleman, you've taken a dip in degree. You're down to 39 right now. So our average low for this time of year, in case you're wondering, 47. So we're below the mark. Many locations, including Double Springs at 41, 40 in Jasper. And I know a lot of you are going, I'm not really a cool weather fan, but you just hang in there, kiddos, because things are going to warm up pretty fast. The sun is up just after 7. Temperatures get back into the comfortable zone. The humidity, not an issue, although it would be great if we could increase it, but there's no button on this clicker that says increase humidity and make it rain. So I can just press the forward button and show you what we've got to look forward to as we roll on through the weekend. 76 our high today. Big old game airing right here on CBS 42. One station where you can watch Alabama's Crimson Tide go at it with LSU kickoff 7 p.m. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. I have not forgotten about Auburn at all. I realize there's more than 2 schools in the entire state, but we're featuring Alabama and Auburn this weekend. Kickoff 11 o'clock, 63, Vanderbilt playing at Auburn. All right, I'll be back in just a few minutes with a complete check on my Storm Track 7-day forecast. Alex?
Our education system in this state sucks.
All right, well, you heard it there. Those are words from Governor Bentley that he had for many educators who were pretty upset this week. Well, now he's trying to clarify his meaning, but he's not apologizing. In a 3-minute video, Bentley says he isn't backing down from saying the education system needs improvement, citing test scores that he says Alabama placed 52nd in the country in math.
The numbers do not lie. No one, including me as your governor, should ever settle for last place in anything, especially when it comes to our children. We cannot continue to ignore the problem and hope that it will go away.
Our education system.
Bentley says he's received invitations from teachers around the state to get a first-hand look at the innovative activities happening in their classrooms. He says he knows many educators are making great strides, but he also says Alabama cannot, quote, keep telling ourselves what we want to hear, hoping we'll go from the worst to first. Well, many teachers we spoke with say they were especially offended by Bentley's language in the original comments, language they say wouldn't be allowed in their own classrooms. Well, moving to this story, developing now, an Alabaster man is charged in the death of a convenience store clerk. 43-year-old Michael Powell is charged with capital murder. He is accused of shooting 54-year-old Tracy Alger during a robbery at the Kirkland Chevron Sunday morning. The fatal shooting hit Alger in the top of the head. Well, now a wreath is hanging outside the Chevron where Alger died. Her family laid her to rest yesterday, which was the same day Powell was arrested. Powell was taken into custody at the View Apartments on 3rd Street Northeast, where he was living. Alger was shot and killed October 30th. Following her death, police released video of a person of interest. Alger grew up in Midfield and was a member of the Connection Church in Pelham. Such a shame. She had 2 sisters and was beloved by her family.
She will always be there for me, whether it's an angel on my shoulder. She's going to be terribly missed.
Sad story. Police say the community and officers are coming together and have helped lead to Powell's arrest. All of that led up to that. The office manager at Powell's apartment complex says he recognized him from the surveillance video. Well, new this morning, former presidential candidate Bernie Sanders hit the campaign trail in North Dakota for his formal rival, Hillary Clinton. The senator also spent his time at the podium speaking out against the controversial Dakota Access Pipeline.
But perhaps the most important lesson that they have taught us, and one that we cannot fail to heed, is that as human beings, we are part of nature. And if we destroy nature, we are destroying ourselves.
Strong words there from Bernie Sanders. President Obama says his administration is looking into possible alternate routes for the pipeline. Supporters say it would bring an economic boom and reduce U.S. reliance on foreign oil. But the Standing Rock tribe actually says construction would ruin sacred land and possibly contaminate drinking water. New this morning, the FBI and New York police departments are investigating a possible al-Qaeda terror threat against the U.S. on the eve of Election Day. Officials say counterterrorism investigators are reviewing information that mentioned New York, Texas, and Virginia as potential targets. It's not clear how the intelligence came to investigators' attention. Now, many people are lining up to vote now, as a matter of fact, instead of Tuesday.
With everything that's going on in the world right now, I think that we should, at any case, be safe, think positive, know that there are tactics out for anywhere we go now.
Both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are holding their Election Day parties in New York City. Well, new this morning, we're going to go to this story. Testimony continued in a South Carolina courtroom in the trial of Michael Slager. He's the former North Charleston police officer facing murder charges in the shooting death of Walter Scott during a traffic stop. The man who recorded video of Slager shooting Scott took the stand Friday. He left the stand twice to demonstrate to jurors what he saw and how he saw the men struggling. Fiden Santana says another officer who arrived at the scene told him Scott was fine, but it was hours later that Santana learned Scott had died. He says that's when he tried to find Scott's family. Well, Slager faces life in prison if convicted of murder in the state trial. He also has been indicted on federal civil rights charges. Well, new this morning, police say a Washington state woman is dead after being hit by a stray bullet. The bullet was fired into her bedroom by a man aiming at his car that had just been stolen. Pierce County Sheriff's deputies say witnesses told them they heard at least 10 gunshots. Just moments later, a woman called to say her son's Jeep had been stolen, and he fired shots from a handgun before chasing the car. Deputies later found the bullet holes in the woman's bedroom.
That's just crazy, shooting at people over a car. I mean, it's a vehicle, it's material things. Now this guy's probably ruined his whole life.
Deputies say the 41-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of second-degree assault. Those charges are expected to change since the woman has died. Well, right now, 2 people are wanted for questioning in the disappearance of a Tuscaloosa County man. 31-year-old Donnie McCutcheon and 33-year-old Annie Ware were last seen near Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tuscaloosa County investigators want to talk to them about 59-year-old Morris Watson. He was last seen September 9th in his 1992 white Chevy truck. It has a ladder rack on top and a toolbox in the bed. Now, anyone with information on the case is asked to call the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office. Their number is 464-8672. Well, Highway 280 will welcome a brand new restaurant. The Old Dixie Fish Company is now demolished. I'm sure many drivers have recognized that as they've been driving down the road. Well, we now know a Whataburger is going in the old restaurant's location. Demolition will wrap up next week. Now, once the building is leveled, construction will then start on the Whataburger. Well, happening today, a Veterans Day ceremony will take place at Shadow Lawn Cemetery. The cemetery is the final resting place for military veterans who have served in every war, from the Civil War to the Persian Gulf War. Today's ceremony will be held from 10 to 11 this morning. Well, your time right now, it is 6:39. It's one of the biggest games of the year, and it's prime time tonight on CBS 42. Coming up, the sports team previews Alabama and LSU ahead of kickoff in Death Valley. Michael?
All right, big weekend, big football games. Live look outside. The sun is up at 7:10, so get ready for a spectacular Saturday sunrise. My weekend forecast after the break.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Good Saturday morning to you, Central Alabama. All right, let's do this thing. Live look outside. The sun is up at 7:10. Good morning, Homewood. How's it going? Nice and cool, right? Right, 48 right now. Good morning to you, Tuscaloosa and Anniston. Birmingham's at 51. Average low for this time of year, 47. If you haven't heard, big old game, and it airs right here. One station only, CBS 42. Alabama and LSU kickoff 7 p.m. Temperatures in Baton Rouge right around 67, give or take a degree. Final whistle, lower 60s. Game day forecast, Vanderbilt at Auburn, 11 a.m. kickoff, temperatures in the lower 60s. Final whistle, lots of sunshine, temperatures right around 70. All right, here's my Storm Track 7-day forecast. Don't forget, we fall back tonight for tomorrow with the time. Get out there and rock the vote Tuesday. Next chance of rain is pretty low, and that happens on Friday. In theory, Veterans Day, the rain chance at 30%. High temperatures hang out in the 70s, overnight lows in the lower 50s. Alex.
Thanks, Michael. Well, it's big. It's a big day, right, in the SEC West as the Tide travels to Death Valley to take on LSU. We go now to Sports Director Chris Brees for a preview of today's action.
A lot of people calling it the biggest game of the year in the SEC, but Alabama perhaps limping in against LSU tonight in Death Valley. Reports out of Tuscaloosa last night say Calvin Ridley, star receiver, might be out and is a game-time decision. He had a wrap on his right knee in practice this week. We did not see him doing drills on Wednesday. Nick Saban never talked about it, and it might be an issue for Alabama. He's been their best receiver, the go-to guy. I talked with a man calling the game, Vern Lundquist. He says it's a big deal because of what Calvin Ridley does outside of catching the ball.
Yeah, I think he and Ardarius Stewart are not only great receivers, but great downfield blockers. And I think Calvin Ridley is an all-around talent. If he can't play, that I think will impact the game significantly. I sure do.
And then there's the motivation factor for LSU. Not only have they lost 5 straight, the last 2 at home have been gut-wrenching. Vern's broadcast partner Gary Danielson says that is the biggest thing going for LSU tonight. Raw emotion of how embarrassed they were in this rivalry. He used that word, embarrassed. It's personal for the Tigers.
2 of them have been gut-wrenching here, where they had the lead late and they got them stolen. And 3 of them, to be frank, have been embarrassing, where they couldn't match up on the field. And that's going to weigh in this game. And then the numbers 19 for 31 has to be motivation to that offensive line. And number 7 has to gain some yards. He cannot beat them 1 against 11. He needs help, and we'll see if they can do that.
And Gary Danielson talking about that 19 for 31 carries for yards. 19 carries, 31 yards. Didn't do very well against Auburn earlier on in the year. And Scott Griffin out there in the plains of Auburn taking on Vanderbilt today. A stout defense for Vanderbilt, so Auburn's got to have a test on offense.
No doubt about it, but not many people have done well against that Auburn defense either. That has kept them in all the games and even carried them in that 1-2 start and gave the team hope, if you will. I talked to Auburn Athletic Director Jay Jacobs on Friday. We talked about Gus Malzahn handing the keys to the car offensively to Rhett Lashlee and how that's helped turn this team around. He kind of shares and intimates what Gus was thinking.
Only his 4th year as a BCS head coach. And so, he's learning. But then he quickly got into it and realized, you know what, there's so much to this job. I can't be the offensive coordinator. I can't do it all. And he said, I'm going to relinquish that. He's still overseeing it all, so he still has a hand in it, but he's let go of some of that responsibility, and he's holding those guys responsible. And they have skin in the game, so it's a great setup we have right now.
And it has shown as well. Sean White playing spectacularly well for the Tigers. Basketball on Friday night, the first exhibition game, the Tigers against Montevallo. Daniel Purifoy with a 3 here. He's a newcomer to watch, but the big one is the first 5-star recruit in Auburn history, Mustafa Haran. He is absolutely terrific. He hits a 3 there. Auburn beats Montevallo handily, as you would expect here at the Auburn Arena last night. They're picked 13th in the league, but I think they're going to be a lot more improved than that from last year. Scott Griffin in Auburn for CBS 42. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks sports team. Well, your time right now, it is 6:48. A high school coach is suspended after a video surfaces. Still ahead, why some people are calling for him to lose his job. We have the video and much more on that story right after the break here on CBS 42 Morning News. Live look over Miami. All right, we'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We're getting ready to round out the newscast here on CBS 42 Morning News Weekend. And, of course, weather. You all want to know about it, right? Michael Smith is here to give us the rundown.
Whether or not you want to know about it, I'm going to tell you about it right now.
Yes.
Kind of have a feeling you might want to know about it.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I do.
Well, I'm going to tell you all about it, Alex.
All right.
And those who are joining us on this Saturday morning. Sun up at 7:10. It is clear. It is on the cool side. Temperatures have dipped into the upper 40s. Case in point, Anniston and Tuscaloosa both at 48. Birmingham at 51. Our average low for this time of year is 47. So just at 47 right now in Cleveland. However, Coleman, you've dropped to 38 degrees. So it's cold across north central Alabama in spots. 41 Double Springs. Jasper, good morning to you, checking in at 40. Clanton's at 48. Okay, the drought continues to just worsen here across all of central Alabama. The darker shade of red indicating exceptional drought conditions. We need some rain. Not in the cards as we head through today nor tomorrow. We do have a very small chance, and I'll show it to you coming up in my Storm Track 7-day forecast. First things first, it's cold in certain spots this morning, below average in the upper 30s, but quickly, once the sun comes up, temperatures rebound. Upper 60s by 11 o'clock this morning, 1 o'clock this afternoon, wall-to-wall sunshine, temperatures very comfortable, low humidity. Oh, P.S., no outdoor burning, so don't even think about it. The fire danger is high. All right, now that I got that out of the way, just hope you remember that. You're going to, right? Right. All right, this evening, the sun goes down, temperatures come down as well. All right, big football weekend. Alabama Crimson Tide taking on LSU, and you can watch it right here on CBS 42, 7 p.m. kickoff, temperatures mid to upper 60s. Auburn taking on Vanderbilt. They're playing at Auburn, 11 o'clock this morning kickoff. Look for a temperature near 63, final whistle temperatures in the lower 70s. Storm Track 7-day forecast. A lot going on here. We fall back tonight for tomorrow morning, so remember to set the clocks back, the few that have an actual clock on the wall. That reminds me, we've got a few of those floating around here at the station. Who's going to take care of that? Okay, I will. All right, Tuesday, get out there and rock the vote. And Veterans Day, the clouds increase. We're looking at maybe a 30% chance of a few showers. We'll take what we can get. Have a great Saturday. Alex?
All right, a lot going on there for next weekend. Well, your time right now, I should say next weekend too, right? Well, your time right now, it is 6:53. Next up, if you're just joining us, don't worry. We've got a look at all your top stories right after the break here on CBS 42 Morning News. We'll be right back.
You're watching the CBS 42 Morning News.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, the time right now, it is 6:57, and we're going to take a look at your top stories today. First, Sylacauga police are looking for 56-year-old Joyce McDonald. She was last seen Thursday around 5 p.m. in this Shady Oak trailer park. If you know where she is, please call Sylacauga police immediately. Two grieving mothers are hoping for justice after a man is arrested for the death of his girlfriend. Brandon Woodall is charged with capital murder in the shooting death of Kalia Lewis. He's also a person of interest in the 2012 death of his ex-girlfriend. Barry High School football coach Danny Rains is suspended after video surfaces of players burning a football. He says he didn't know what the players were going to do with the ball. Well, now some fans are calling for Rains' termination. And to this story, it's a doubleheader on CBS 42. Florida and Arkansas kick off at 2:30, followed by a big SEC matchup with LSU and Alabama. Kickoff from Baton Rouge is at 7 right here on CBS. And down on the plains, it's East versus West as the Vanderbilt Commodores head to Jordan-Hare to battle it out with the Tigers. Auburn is on a 5-game win streak after beating Ole Miss last weekend. Kickoff is at 11 a.m.
All right, let's get a quick check on my Storm Track 7-day forecast. Temperatures get back into the 70s, mid-70s today, upper 70s tomorrow. Next chance of rain when? Veterans Day. It's a small chance, but we'll take any drop we can get. Rain chance at 30%. A lot of things happening. Get out there and rock the boat on Tuesday.
Yes, so much happening. All right, by the time we join you guys next weekend, we will know who won.
Yes,
Can you
we
believe
will.
it? It's been a
See you
long
tomorrow
time
morning.
coming. We'll see you. Bye.